Hello everybody. It's Saturday here and I'm waiting for my appointment. I'm just eating some salad. I have a facial in about 45 minutes and felt a bit inspired to do a video. Been texting a friend of mine and kind of exploring the meaning and the truth and the everything. Why would you send me that? I just got a friend request from someone really random that I don't want to be friends with on Facebook. I don't know, I just feel inspired to kind of talk about my thoughts and my feelings about relationships and people who cheat, people who aren't true to themselves, people who are liars. Like, I don't know, what am I feeling? Let me try and get to the bottom of this. I guess, have you ever had one of those feelings where you're friends with someone and you have that moment in their company or not in their company, you have that moment where you go, what am I doing here? This doesn't feel right. I've had that a lot on multiple occasions, not necessarily recently, although that was something that was recently something that I thought about and thought, what am I doing here? I don't want to be here. Everything in my body. Classic example. The day before my ex broke up with me, I was sitting at his parents' place looking around the room and just was like, what the fuck am I doing here? These people don't care about me. These people don't want me in their life. I don't see myself being here. And funny enough, obviously we broke up. But also, like, in the company of some friends, I've looked around or I've thought to myself, God, this is not what I want. This is not me. This is not working out for me in the sense that I don't feel comfortable, or I don't know, I guess I'm reaching an age where, you know, I'm 32 and I don't really tolerate bullshit anymore. Like, if you want to be my friend, be my friend. If you don't want to be my friend, don't be my friend. Like, it's really that cut and dry. I'm not here to, you know, I'm not here to try and bend over backwards to convince someone to be friends with me. If you genuinely want to spend time with me and you want to get to know me more or be in my company, whatever you want to call it, then do that. But if you can't be bothered writing back to a message or investing time in me, then don't. And that's fine too. Like, I really don't have any hard feelings about it. I guess, you know, talking about relationships and why are we here? Like, what are we doing? Like, people, you know, sitting and being single and being in this, being able to be in this, this mode where you are finding myself people watching a lot more and observing relationships and the way people talk and observing the way couples, you know, interact together. And yeah, it's really interesting. I was at a pizza joint, actually, stopped in for pizza one night and they said, oh, it's going to be about 25 minutes wait. Alright, whatever. It was a Friday night, whatever. Stopped, sat down and was, I keep getting messages, sorry. Stopped and sat down, was on my phone and I looked up and I saw this couple, and the guy and the girl weren't talking. She looked miserable. He was stuck into his phone, wouldn't put the phone down. She didn't have a phone at all. She looked miserable as hell, and he just couldn't give two shits about her. What is the point of going to dinner and spending time with someone when you are like that out? I just don't understand. Go out for the pleasure of eating food and the pleasure of someone's company, and be in a relationship for the pure, simple fact that they make you feel better. They bring out the best version of you. I would rather have gone this whole time since breaking up from my ex being single than going and jumping into something straight away, jumping into a relationship where it wasn't good, or it was toxic, or the guy cheated, or whatever the situation may be. I would have rathered... Oh, someone's coming. Okay, he shut his... And I can't even start my car to shut my window. Okay, so my window was open and the guy who parked next to me had come to his car, got in the car, and then I started to talk, and then he opened his window and his driver's side was on my driver's side because I've parked in backwards. Anyway, I don't know, just observing people and couples, I think, why would you bother? And why are people in relationships? Oh, here's another lady parking with her window open. Oh my God. Her window's shut now, but can she turn the car off? What time is it? Not time to go in yet. I just think, why are people in relationships? If they're not happy, I don't know. If you're with someone that tells you that you can't go out, or you can't do something, you can't hang out with your friends, you can't talk to a male, I mean, please. Fuck it, what are these people thinking? Then you have the other spectrum, where you've got people in relationships who just take the other person for granted and treat them like shit when they're really good to them. So I don't understand. There's definitely a... She's on her phone. Definitely being single has allowed me to be an observer and really listen to people's relationships. You know, I think a lot of people stay in relationships for comfort and the idea that they can't do any better, or the idea that it's not going to be greener on the other side, when, I don't know, like being free and doing my own thing and not having to answer to anyone and just do what I want to do is really liberating. I don't know how I'd go in another relationship. I guess I would just like to find a happy medium in between. Yeah, but it's this whole, you know, this is a conversation that I've had with someone recently. Why do single women... Hang on. Why do single women prefer married men? Why do married men prefer single younger women? And this person is in a relationship, and their take on it was that married men don't get laid unless their partner, their wife, feels threatened by another woman. My God, that's so true. I guess having been in an unhappy marriage, I can understand. And being single, it is appealing to talk to or be pursued by a married man. Not that I would go down that road, because I've been on the receiving end of that and it's not nice. So if I was talking to a guy and he initially told me he was single, but then later came out that he was married, I would be horrified. I don't think that's appropriate at all. Even texting, flirting, whatever, I just think there's a line, and people generally know when they've crossed it. When you start deleting text messages and you start hiding your evidence of what you've been doing, that's when you've crossed the line. That's when it becomes something that it shouldn't be. And so this idea that, men don't get laid when they're married, they probably don't. I guess they need to realise that, obviously, depending on their relationship and their input into the relationship when it comes to cooking, cleaning, whatever, it takes a little bit more for a woman to be stimulated rather than just touching her or saying a couple dirty words. Like, a woman thinks so differently, and the woman has to be really turned on here for everything else to work. It's not a matter of someone talking dirty. It's funny because I just thought of a time with my ex, and he said some stupid shit that I was like, really? Do you think that's going to turn me on? Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing. I had a psychic reading recently. Whether you believe in that sort of stuff or not is not really on up for conversation in this video, but went to a psychic that said recently, there's nothing I could have done in my marriage that would have changed anything, because I knew it was over a long time before it was, but I didn't have, unfortunately, I'm a lot stronger now than I was before, and I didn't have the balls to leave him because I was just too far gone. I didn't cheat. He obviously found someone who he thought was better than me, and he made his choice, and look, I'm okay with that now. There's obviously something bigger and better out there for me, and the friend that I was talking to about the marriage, it was interesting because he sort of said, love seems like this fictitious thing that everyone's trying to attain, and he was starting to believe that it might not be real. But the reality of that is, I don't know, it's true. God, for someone who's in my position, who's single, watching everyone around them be in relationships and be happy, it's really hard. But I still hold that little bit of hope that someone is out there for me. Like, this, everything, all the crap that I've been through, there has to be a bigger reason why it all happened. I don't believe that it happened and I just got bad luck and I'm never gonna get married again. Like, it hasn't tarnished, my experience hasn't tarnished the way I feel about love and the way I feel about the world, and I believe that there is someone out there for me. I can't just be existing on this planet to not have kids and not get married and not be happy and watch all these people around me be happy. I'm happy for my friends, don't get me wrong, but I want to do double dating, and I want to have kids and go to my friend's place and have the kids play together. Like, I dream of that so badly. And going through what I went through with my ex, I mean, he really killed my confidence. He really, made me stop and think that everything was my fault. And going to this psychic, he gave me the validation that I needed. He reiterated to me that, I don't believe there's anything different you could have done. You tried everything you could. You were like backed up into a corner. I said some nasty shit to my ex that I'm not fucking proud of. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I was really pushed to my limit in that relationship. He really killed my confidence. There was no excuse for him not to want to be intimate with me. Everything medically checked out okay. And obviously he's had a child, so there's nothing wrong with him there. But fuck, it does play on your mind a lot, and it does really make you think far out. Like, how could I have made that different? I couldn't have. There's nothing I could have done to change that scenario. And I've come to terms with that, and I'm at peace with that now, knowing that, it is what it is. He obviously didn't love me the way that he should have loved me. Not just obviously from a physical point of view, but just everything in general. And he obviously wasn't ready. And look, if he wasn't ready to get married and have kids with me, I don't imagine he'd be ready with this new girl, having kids with her. And he's engaged now. We haven't even been divorced. Haven't even been separated for over a year. But he moved pretty quick. I couldn't imagine, I had a good relationship with his father, and I was thinking about his father the other day. And I honestly would hug that man, because I really felt like he was in my corner, and I really felt like he understood me. And he was just, his opinion and the way he was swayed by his wife. I'd like to say a very good understanding of him, and he of me. He was very straight down the line, but he was also really kind. And I can't imagine, for a man who was so kind and so proud, for him to be okay with the way he treated me. I honestly don't think deep down that he would be okay with the situation that my ex is in and how he treated me. Because I tell you what, the shoe was on the other foot, and it was his daughter, so my ex's sister. He would have fucking killed them. He'd be in prison for killing someone. Like, yeah, I had a real very big respect for him. And not only am I making peace with ending the relationship the way that it did, but also trying to spiritually make peace with all the people that didn't say goodbye and didn't help me and didn't reach out to me before I left, and kind of left it as I'm never going to see you again. I think to treat someone that way is absolutely horrendous. Someone who's supposed to be a member of the family. I mean, look, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Perhaps I shouldn't have got married. Guys are spoilt for choice at the moment, I think. Being on the dating scene, and there are, with, social technology these days and social platforms, there are so many opportunities for guys to cheat. So many opportunities for guys to meet girls, and they're honestly spoilt for choice. They don't care about the old pursuing someone, And I was talking to my friend, and there's this fantastic theory that we both have. And it's something I'm going to leave you with, because I'm due to go back soonish. So the theory is a man is capable of loving from here. Absolutely 100%. But my theory is when a guy falls in love for the first time, generally it's when you're of a younger age, he loves and cares and does the flowers, the, love letters and the presents and, doting on them and opening the car door and all these beautiful, wonderful things you do and you feel as an adolescent. But then he falls for the wrong girl. The girl is getting to an age where she becomes more mature. She's starting to get more attention from men. She, is a bit prettier than her friends, for example. So suddenly you have this push-pull of the girl being completely head over heels for this guy. This guy being head over heels for this girl, but this girl really thinking, I think the grass is greener on the other side. So what happens is, inevitably, it's happened to every male. I'd love to challenge that theory for everyone listening. But every male has had their heart broken. And that experience alone, having their heart broken, when they truly 100% loved with their soul being, they are broken forever. And I don't think males ever forget that. And that's why men can change into this state of, I'm gonna use women, I'm just not gonna give a fuck anymore, and they become this arrogant wanker that all these women are still hunting for the right one. So the woman gets older, she gets her heart broken too, obviously. It's quite emotionally damaging, it's quite scarring for her, but she, even in her 30s, is still continually trying to find this unicorn of a male who will love her the way her first love loved her. And men being broken by someone that, cares about them, they don't want to fully commit. So when it comes to committing to a marriage, kids, they freak. They absolutely freak out. And so goes this vicious cycle of these women continually trying to find this unicorn man, and it doesn't exist because they're broken. They can't trust women anymore. Very interesting theory. I'm not saying it's applicable to everybody, but it's a very interesting theory. Yeah. So I can see that, and suddenly the girls are thinking, fuck, I should have married my high school sweetheart and stayed with him because he was the love of my life and I cared about him and he cared about me, but I broke his heart because I thought there was something going to be better out there. Equally for people that cheat, everyone on this planet is brought up to understand the difference between right and wrong, good and evil, correct? Everyone has that ability to distinguish the difference between good and bad. So when you do something and you have that, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble feeling, that means you're not doing a good thing. If you have good intentions and you have this good feeling, you go, yeah, I actually feel really good about this decision. That's something that you should pursue, obviously. And I guess, like I said earlier in this video, if you are having to delete your text messages to somebody, or you have that gut feeling of, oh my God, this is not right, I should not be doing this, that's when you've crossed the line. And that poor person who's at home has no fucking idea that you're doing this because you're so sneaky about it. But you know what? They obviously had to experience that because what goes around comes around. So in my experience with my ex and him cheating on me, I believe that one day he will get his heart broken by this next girl that he's with, because retribution works in mysterious ways. And karma is a wonderful thing. Karma writes down everybody's address and never forgets. So, you know, as long as you're true to who you are and you do things out of love and kindness for other people, and if you, before you make a decision, if you think that you would be okay on the receiving end of that, go for it. It's always interesting that people act out of impulse and not really think about the consequences and not really think about how the other person would feel, or how it would be received. So it's this fine line and this balancing act of, you know, doing the right thing and being true to yourself, because sometimes they can clash. So my theory is that people come in and out of your life for a reason, and we're on this journey called life to experience what we need to experience, because it will either make us stronger and be better and allow ourselves to evolve as people and not be so shallow and not be so narrow-minded, and really feel empathy for other people. I don't know, I don't believe that we're just here to exist and nothing else is happening. Those people that don't believe in anything, I feel really sorry for those people. I mean, without belief, I don't know where I would be. I have a strong belief that there's bigger and better and greater things out there for me, and I believe that one day I will be loved, like a woman should be loved, and I will love back. And I will get the opportunity to be a mum and have my own family and share my own journey and stories with my family. You know, it's perspective is a wonderful thing, especially when you have time to think about your situation. And yeah, it's quite remarkable. And look, everyone views the world differently. Everyone has their own version of what they believe is right and wrong. It comes down to who you're surrounded by, who teaches you, what lessons you've learned, what family you come from. I believe that there's a lot of different factors, but fundamentally everyone has a reason why they do what they do. Like, why do they want to have a family? Why do they want to get married? Why do they want to chase that job? Why do they want to start their own business? And why do they backstab that person? Or why do they cheat on their wife? There has to be, everyone is governed and in different directions based on what they want. There's a reason why behind everything. And when you stop and think about your why, and it takes a lot of practice, and I'm still trying to learn the concept myself, but I'm acting out of how I would perceive that as coming from the receiving end, you know, and I do things because it makes me feel good, or if there's something that I'm supposed to do that I don't feel right about, I will not do it. So on that note, there's a lot of content in there, and I've jumped around the place. I didn't really have a plan, and I never generally do when I jump onto these videos, but you know, just really interested how my friend has put, I like the way that he challenges my thinking, and I do think about things very differently after our conversations, and they're very real conversations, and that's exactly what I love. I love having real in-depth conversations with substance. None of this, I'm getting my nails done, I'm getting my hair done, look how pretty and Kim Kardashian I look. That's just not me. And I love getting into the nitty-gritty of picking people's brains and making them think differently. And perspective is a beautiful thing. If one person listening to this video gets something out of it, that's, that's why I do these videos, because I wish people shared this kind of information with me when I was going through what I needed to hear. And obviously everything happens when it's supposed to happen, but maybe the person watching this video is supposed to listen to this video because there's some content within this video that will hit a spot for somebody and make them think differently, or make them act a different way, or make them, you know, change their patterns and change their beliefs and change their way of thinking. I don't know. The reason I do what I do is because I want to inspire people to challenge their mindset, but also inspire people to love others and understand them more instead of this tunnel vision. You know, treat those how you want to be treated. Very simple concept. Yeah. So I'm going to leave it at that. It's a lot of content. Enjoy. Take of it what you will. And I hope I've inspired someone today. And don't forget to love each other. But most importantly, love yourself more. Peace out.